Hello again everyone, how are you all doing? Hope you're well. Today I'd like to speak to you about something from my collection that is, I still get frowned upon. People asking me, oh, you still collect that? People still collect them. Yeah, I do. I just want to do a quick look at some of the items I've got in my collection. Not going to too depth, but I can do that in another day. And it's these VHS tapes. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, this is nostalgia right here. VHS tapes, remember going to the video store and having to pick a movie, and if you picked a really bad one, well, tough, that's what you were watching for the next couple of nights. And you watched them, not this Netflix now where you flick backwards and forwards and never really watch anything. You watched it and you watched it and watched it. Yeah, sounding like an old man now, I'm sorry. But yeah, this one here, Thundercats. Everyone loves Thundercats. I do like 80s cartoons. It's one that if I ever see them when I'm out and about, I'll always pick up. So yeah, let me just go through a couple that I've got in my collection and we'll see what we got. Next one I've got, Mask. Again, very 80s. As soon as you put this on and hear that intro tune come up, it's just amazing. But the weird thing is, I never actually had any of the toys either. But I do remember watching Mask on VHS. I mean, 66 minutes running time. As a kid, that was amazing. This one I actually had, this actual copy, and there was another one somewhere that I can't find, Visionaries. The Visionaries one that I remember most is the first episode, I think, where they all had to go through this tower to get their powers and stuff like that. Always sticks in my head. Absolutely love Visionaries. The next one, I actually, sad to say, I had to pay more than I normally do for a VHS because I couldn't find it anywhere. Jason the World Warriors. It's just, if you've never seen Jason the World Warriors, go and give it a watch. It's really the intro to this. It's like just 80s music in general, 80s and 90s intros of cartoons was just amazing. And that's Jason the World Warriors. And talking about music in movies, and I'm not going to sing this one, but I'm sure as soon as I say it, you'll have it stuck in your head like I normally do. DuckTales. I love DuckTales, and what I like now is my kids absolutely love DuckTales. They like the original one and the new one. They can watch both of them. They've got a couple of actual different VHS of these. They've got a couple of movies and stuff like that. And quite regularly ask me, oh, can we put some DuckTales on, which I do like that. They're not getting to this one yet, but this is one that I absolutely love, Count Duckula. I know they did a remake of this, but again, the original one is the one that I like. And that one is rewound. Going to offend a couple of people here now because this was very hyped up and everything else and so many fans, but I've never actually sat down and liked and enjoyed this programme. Sorry, it's Turtles. Just don't like it. Never have. I remember watching the movies, I remember watching the cartoons, but it's one of them that I could just, not bothered. A lot of fans out there though. Very popular franchise. I've got a couple of these, but one that I did absolutely love, the real Ghostbusters. I mean, how can you not? Some of these cartoons actually at the time did actually still freak me out, even though they're rated U. But really good cartoons, and I mean, what can I say? It's Ghostbusters. Going on to a couple of cartoon movies now. And a few of you noticed that there was a little gold nugget over there, and he was a Rock Lord. And I even have the VHS tape of GoBots versus the Rock Lords. This is another one that I had to source off the internet because, not that I remember watching this cartoon as a kid, never had it. I had another tape, which is coming up in a minute, that had this as a trailer at the beginning, and it stuck in my head, and I always remembered it, and I needed to get a copy. So last year on eBay, I picked myself up a copy. Again, hasn't rewound it. And it's as good as I thought it was going to be. It's actually a really, really good movie. Couple of proper 80s movies now. Short Circuit, Flight of the Navigator. Whenever I see 80s movies in charity shops, I snap them up. You know what I mean? I grab them and don't let go. and these are some that I've found. Love Short Circuit 1 and 2, and Flight of the Navigator. Classic movie. Interesting fact though, the actual ship that's in Flight of the Navigator is actually now in Disney World as a roof for one of their food cart things. It's painted red with rockets on the side, and people walk past it and wouldn't even know it's there. I suppose it saves it being rotten in a field somewhere or just forgotten about, but yeah, the actual prop is in Disney World. And I can't talk about 80s movies without this guy. This guy was such a big part of my childhood growing up. John Candy. Uncle Buck, one of my mum's all-time favourite movies, and this one, Cool Runnings, we watched again and again and again. Well, same with all of them, really. I am missing Planes, Trains and Automobiles on VHS, and I cannot find it anywhere. If anyone out there can help me find a copy, please let me know. Happy to pay for it. Happy to cover post. It's just something I'd love to have in my collection. But yeah, John Candy died way too soon, but will always be a legend. Now a couple of ex-rentals here, and just wanted to show you this one. Not as a classic movie and everything else, but I wanted to show you what can happen and why you're going to be careful buying VHS. And as you can see, it's not in the best condition, but you get this tape rot. It can be fixed, but it will never be perfect again. But when you're buying something, just make sure you keep an eye out for that, because it can ruin a really, really, really good movie. And Cocoon, again, classic. Love this one. Batteries not included. If you've never seen Batteries Not Included, I recommend you go and have a watch now, because it's such a good movie. I mean, look at that. It's still got the rental sticker on. £1.50 per day. And you know what? I would have happily paid that as well. Love this movie. Right, this is the tape I was talking about that had the advert on for Rock Lords, and it's Starchaser, Legend of Orem. This is one I actually rented from the video store, and I watched it and said, quite luckily, this is an ex-rental version, not the one I remember renting, but it is the one. As you can see, it is quite heavily styled on Star Wars, but as a movie from my past, it took me a long time to remember what this movie was called, and it's this Starchaser, Legend of Orem. Good movie. Ironically, a movie that I watched again and again and again because of my parents' love for it and my love for it. Groundhog Day. Yeah, ironic really that you probably used to put it on 2 or 3 times a day back when it first came out. Still, classic movie, holds up today. And I just wanted to have a quick one, not a... this is a homemade tape. This tape was given to me by Pod Pooler. And it's this. It's his Red Dwarf tape that he recorded off the TV, and he just had this habit of painting things, and painting things way too much. He even used to put a primer on them. Yeah, he always tells me that he was the only one that used to watch Red Dwarf in his house, and he used to record them or watch them. He's the only person I know who, when you're watching a Red Dwarf video, he can tell what episode it is by the serial number that comes up at the beginning. Massive, massive Red Dwarf fan, and when he got rid of this, he gave it to me for my collection. Pod, I absolutely love it. We keep and treasure this forever. So yeah, that's just a few tapes I've got in my collection. I'm not, as I said, not going to go into detail in movies. I can do that another time, but I still love collecting videotapes, and whenever I see them, it's getting harder and harder to find them. Most people just bin them now. I'll happily pick them up. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you soon.